I'm Dr. Mark Martin, and I am a microbial supremacist. Welcome. Hello, and welcome to another edition of MewTube, a video series about microbiological concepts and microbiology education from my own perspective as an educator here at the University of Puget Sound. Today, I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about how I have become labeled as a microbial supremacist, even a prophet to the microbes, a microbial whisperer, if you will. And this happened for a very simple reason. At my own institution, the University of Puget Sound, there is just one microbiology course, generally taken by juniors and seniors. So I have one shot to get many of the issues of matters microbial, as I call them, across. The depth and the breadth of the microbial world and all the wonderful things taking place all the time on the research front. So for that reason, I like to use almost an artistic approach. I find that the intersection of science and art, specifically microbiology and art, is extremely useful in getting students together thinking about things in a culture of inclusion and with a sense of shared wonder. I do this by creating a class logo. And that class logo has mottos, usually a nice cartoon of one form or another, that's both amusing and accurate. And I have quite a history of putting these together now. I create buttons, stickers, and t-shirts for my students. And it really has a positive effect, bringing the class together and promoting many of the ideas of matters microbial that are important to me. This started here at the University of Puget Sound in 2005. And this particular image is one of my favorites. Above it, we have the words, prokaryotic pride, with great respect to Norman Pace and his dislike of the term prokaryotic. Really sorry, Norm, this was a long time ago. Underneath it, the terms first evolved, last extinct. In fact, I made a version of this for the great Elio Schechter that says free the organelles underneath. As you can see, there have been many examples of this over the last 10 years I've been here, pretty much one per year, ranging from it's not raining cats and dogs, it's raining microbes, to I'm a microbe biologist with a human face as a cartoon made of cartoon microbes, even a version of Frank Sinatra. As Dean Martin said many years ago, it's Frank's world, we just live in it. And certainly my students learn it's a microbial world, and we just live in it. And even the latest one from this year, a Janis Joplin view of seeing the world through microbial colored glasses. Seeing the world a whole new way. And as this happened more and more, especially the image of my trying to occupy the curriculum, as I said one year, no ukes and microbial supremacy now, an interesting thing happened in my department. We were having a department meeting one time, and we were discussing that if we got increased funding and had another tenure line position, what kind of research interest would the new hire want to have? Now, to me, this is, given the funding situation in particular, this is very much like asking, if I looked like George Clooney, how should I dress? Not something to worry about. But I was listening nicely to everything, and trying to figure out places to contribute and being respectful to my colleagues, because I think collegiality is very important. In any event, two of my colleagues stated at one point that perhaps another plant scientist would be a good idea. And as they were both plant scientists, this was a little ironic to me, but to be expected. To a carpenter, every problem is solved with a hammer and nails, after all. I didn't roll my eyes, I didn't disagree. I love all of biology, to be honest with you, between you and I. In any event, what happened then is one of my colleagues turned and said, well, Mark here thinks that bacteria are more important than anything else. And I took a sip of my coffee, I thought about it, and I told my colleague, oh, I think plants are very important. It's just all the really cool things they do, they stole from bacteria and archaea. And that colleague laughed merrily, and she said, "Well, you're just a microbial supremacist." And I sat back and I smiled. And I said, "Yes, I am. I guess I am." And I decided to adopt that motto. It was in fact the logo 1 year for my microbiology class, and is something of a logo for my entire undergraduate lab. We even have a cafe press site now. And because so many people have been asking me over the years for these kinds of buttons and t-shirts and that kind of thing. I would also like to thank my wife, Jennifer Quinn, who's a brilliant mathematician as well as a fine artist, for a lot of the artwork she's done for various of these logos, and especially Kaitlin Reiss, a fabulous artist who's been responsible for the majority of the artwork for these logos over the years for my microbiology classes. And thank you for watching this episode of Mewtwo.